Hello everyone, it is January 31st, so I am 2 weeks and 2 days post-op stage 1 phalloplasty. I had surgery on January 15th, and I just wanted to talk about post-op mental health and feelings of regret and feelings of nervousness and just being terrified of a lack of functioning of your body. So I want to preface this with I am extremely happy with my results. It looks much better than I ever thought it would, and I'm only 2 weeks post-op, so I can only imagine what it's going to look like once everything's actually healed. I'm doing really well now. I am quite mobile. I am doing physically a lot better than I expected I would be. I thought I was going to be bedridden completely for a long time. And, it's exhausting. I'm exhausted, but overall, I'm doing a lot better than I thought I would be. But while I was still in Montreal, I was in the hospital from Tuesday, surgery day, until Friday. And then from that Friday till the next Friday, I was in a care home, convalescent home. And the day that I was transferred from the hospital to the convalescent home, which was the Friday, I had a bit of a meltdown. And I was expecting it. I had heard enough guys talk about it, about just feeling completely overwhelmed and, wishing that they hadn't done it. But in the grand scheme of things, no regret overall, but in that moment of recovery, feeling regret. And so I had prepared myself to feel that, and it happened 4 days post-op. And it was terrifying and upsetting, and I was alone, and I didn't know what to do. So basically, I was in the hospital. I was able to just lie there. I didn't look at anything. Some people are like, the moment they wake up, they want to see it and they want to know, that it's there and whatever. I didn't want to look. And that kind of scared me a bit, that I didn't want to look, because I thought I would be excited and I wasn't. I was just kind of tired and I just wanted to sleep. And I didn't want to know what it looked like because I was terrified it would be like a gory mess. And so I didn't look. And I didn't look at all while I was in the hospital. And so I think I looked the night that I was going to be transferred in the morning. I think I looked at that point, but I was really sleepy and I couldn't really see very well. I didn't have my glasses on, but I kind of looked. But other than that, I didn't look for 4 days. And I was just in pain and I was miserable, and it was bad. And then the day I was being transferred, you're supposed to walk. I had walked laps around the hospital while I was there, and I had done decently okay with that. But the day you're transferred, you're supposed to get up out of bed and you're supposed to walk from your hospital bed through the tunnel system, whatever, to the care home. And I couldn't walk. I stood up, and the nurse who was helping me took one look at my face and said, "I'm going to get you a wheelchair. You're not walking today." And so she got me a wheelchair and then wheeled me to the care home and to my new room. I got there and was greeted by one of the nurses and, was told, "Here, you're going to be doing things yourself. We're going to help you in the beginning, but we expect you to get up and come to the meals in the dining room. We want you to be changing your bandages on your own. We want you to be, getting up and go to the bathroom by yourself," and all these things. And I'm laying there going, I can't even walk right now. I can't move. So that scared me because it was overwhelming. And then knowing that now I was going to be expected to take care of my surgery sites when I didn't even want to look at them because I'm kind of squeamish, was really scary. And so you also, when you're in the hospital, I had a catheter bag attached to my catheter, draining urine into it, obviously. When they transfer you, they put the cap on the catheter, and it has a little valve on it that you flip the switch to be able to pee out of it. So it's no longer a bag. And so I had only been in the care home for like 40 minutes when I really had to pee. And you're supposed to get up and go to the bathroom, but I couldn't move. So called one of the nurses. She came, helped me up. I stood up. She looked at my face and was like, "You look white as a sheet. You're going to fall over if you try and walk right now." So she put me back in the bed, and then I was to pee through the catheter tube into a container thing. And I did, and I felt pee coming out underneath me. And I said that, but I don't think she understood what I meant. And then like a couple hours later, I had to pee again. It happened again. And this time I told the nurse, I said, "There's pee coming out underneath me." And she looked and she could see just urine coming out everywhere. And so I had peed myself now twice completely. I'm laying in my own urine. I can't walk. I can't move. Literally could not move anywhere. My whole left side, my left thigh, my left arm, everything was useless. I had no energy, and I just was laying in my own urine thinking, what the hell have I done? And so they changed my sheets and everything. I had to do like the rolling so they could shove the new ones underneath me and pull the old ones out and whatever. The nurse left, and they had already brought me my food because I couldn't get out of bed to go to the dining room to eat with everybody else. I was listening to everybody else laughing and having fun in the dining room, and I couldn't even move. And, I'm laying in my urine, I'm laying in my own blood, I'm exhausted, and I had barely moved that day. And my body's not doing anything I'm telling it to. I just couldn't. I was completely debilitated. And I don't know what I was expecting surgery to be like, but I definitely didn't expect that moment of complete and utter lack of control. And I just broke down. I started crying. Nobody knew I was crying. None of the nurses ever came in and saw it happen or anything, but I had a meltdown. And it was that moment of, there's no one here. I'm here completely alone. Nobody here cares about me. They are expecting more of me, and I can't move. My body's not listening to me. Everything has betrayed me in this moment, and I wish I hadn't done this. I just kept going, I want to go home. I want to go home. This was a mistake. I don't want to be here, and I wish I hadn't done this. And it was just a bad day. And I called my sister a bit later in the evening. I was still upset. And I called her, and I was like, it's been a bad day. And she could tell I was upset, and I was trying to fight back crying again. And I couldn't handle it that day. I was really overwhelmed with everything, and it was just bad. The next day was a bit better. It wasn't great, but it was better. But then after that, those initial 2 days, so like day 4 and 5 post-op, things improved drastically. I still couldn't really get out of bed that well for a while. It was like day 4 or something that I was finally able to get up to the dining room to eat with everybody. And as soon as that happened, I was a lot better, because I was getting to interact with other trans people and getting to interact with other people who were not just nurses, which was nice. And it was fun, and it felt like a communal experience, and it was great. And so after that, I was a lot better. And I had also had a moment of like, it was one of the first times that I was getting out of bed on my own. You have to like wrap the phallus in gauze before you put the underwear over top. And I had to do it myself. Before, the nurses had been doing it for me, but I had to do it myself. And it was the first time that I was actually touching the phallus. I was alone without anybody standing over me watching. I had to touch it and wrap it. And in that moment, I just kind of like, something clicked. And I just said out loud, I'm like, we're going to make it through this. We're going to get through this. It's going to be fine. And I just like, I'm not giving up on this. And it was just, as I'm holding it for the first time alone, it was just this moment of connection of like, I didn't make a mistake here. This was the right thing to do. And I just had to get over that initial hump of depression and regret. But yeah, this is not an easy recovery by any means. This is the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. It is the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. And like I said, I don't know what I was expecting, but it sure as hell wasn't this. I don't think people talk enough about how absolutely terrifying this surgery is, because I've thankfully never been in a position where my body wasn't listening to me in that way of like, all I want to do is reach over and pick up a glass of water or sit up or scooch a little bit to my left or right, and I cannot do any of those things because my body's just not listening. So yeah, it was scary to think that I regretted what I had done, because I put so much money and time and effort into this, and knowing it's irreversible and permanent and there's no going back. I had made the decision, now I have to live with it. And there's no break. Even when you're sleeping, there's no break. Especially with phalloplasty, where they have to do the Doppler to check the heartbeat every single hour, day and night. You don't get sleep. It's hard to keep food down. It's painful and frustrating, and I was lonely, and everything was just piling on. But I don't regret it. I think I am going to come out of all this a lot stronger of a person. I already feel stronger as a person. And like I said at the beginning, it looks so much better than I ever expected it would. And it's only 2 weeks in. It's still healing, and it looks amazing. And I'm so happy. I didn't have a moment of like, I don't know, some people cry like in happiness, or they just kind of like lose it a bit. Besides that moment of like the first time I was holding it and feeling like everything's going to be okay, it just felt right. Like, some people say it's strange having something in between your legs and getting used to it. It doesn't feel strange to me. It feels really correct. But yeah, it's gone the same way that all my other surgeries have, where I just kind of looked at it and went, yeah, no, that's the way it should be. And my mom was like, oh, is it strange having something in between your legs that wasn't there before? I'm like, no, it really isn't. It doesn't feel strange at all. It doesn't feel like I have to get used to it. It doesn't feel like foreign or out of place. It just feels like the way I always thought it would happen, you know. As a kid, I always thought I'll wake up one day and I'll just have a penis. If I dream hard enough, it'll happen. And that's what happened. It took a long time, Took 22 years, but I woke up that day and had a penis. That's all there is to it. And I'm happy with it, and I just hope that the rest of my recovery goes well, and yeah. But I just wanted to talk about that, initial feeling, because I'm sure that a lot of people go through it. Thank you for watching. If you have any specific questions that I can make a video about, please let me know. I plan to make quite a few videos. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like I said, please give me video topics about phalloplasty, because I'd love to talk about it more in depth. Thanks for watching. See ya.